It's actually a surprising thing, but I get quite a few people who ask me how I handle quiet, like bridges or breakdowns and things of that sort. And I really don't exactly understand the question. And that's because I'm operating from a certain point of view with all this business. Um, Let me kind of show you exactly what I do. I got this little country pop thing, which this mix wasn't the final one. I kind of have a little problem where I lost it, but it's close enough. It's not perfect, but it's close enough for this. Okay, so what happens was we had a little breakdown, and it gets real quiet. It's just an acoustic guitar and the girl singing, and then we go more kapow. I wouldn't say we hit it doom, but we go pretty loud, and we're hitting -7, -6 decibels RMS on our little TT dynamic range meter here. So what I do is I don't really care about all the soft stuff, to be honest. I don't have an opinion one way or the other. But so let's look at the loud stuff first. Let me make sure I get this level right here. All right. Well, we're a little muddy and we're whatever, and we're a little loud. Actually, we're kind of pushing past -6, maybe up to -5 some. So we definitely don't want to be that loud. But you get the point. Is okay. We've what I always do is I focus on this loudest chunk, and in this particular song, it's the peak, the end, which I would guess most songs are loudest at the end or close to it. But when we do the breakdown, which is after a different is it chorus or a bridge or whatever. Oh, it's a bridge. Here we go.
Says I should wait and see, but I just know that you're the one for me. Will said you love me.
Okay, so and then again, this is not the final mix. I'm sorry for that. But when this quiet business is going on, I don't care. It didn't even occur to me that I needed to look at my meter there. I did anyway. But like when I was mixing it, I don't. All I did was make sure that made sense in the context of the song. Pop music, you probably don't want to go as dynamic as you might with some of the more artsy stuff. Maybe not, I don't know. But I wanted a voice up front, so I kept it fairly loud. But I looked over here, and we're up at like -14 decibels RMS. It doesn't really matter. All that really matters is as long as we have full band rocking is at those levels that are expected, we can back off as much as we want. And this is something we saw on one of the very first videos with whether it was Pink or whatever, the bands and groups, whatever, that go up and down in volume, that really have softer verses than they do choruses and things like that, they don't really have a limit. They will go down as low as they want in level. And so I recommend you guys don't overthink that. Get your loud stuff loud and forget about it. And this is a big issue I have because a lot of guys think, well, you have no dynamics in this modern music. And yeah, okay, whatever. But clearly we have some dynamics because it just went from -6 and stuff to -14. So we do have dynamics, but it always operates from a negative position, I guess you could say. Let's go and get our loud stuff to be nuke full-blown doom volume, just like it does in real life, like in a real band in the room. It's loud and can't really get much louder without your ears exploding. Well, and then when they get soft, it gets softer. I think that's how rock bands work in real life, and I think that's how it should work here, really. So, granted, we can't get any louder than we are here in the full-blown doom in terms of, there's not much room left anyway to get louder. So I guess you could argue there's no dynamics in the loud stuff, but there's not anyway. I don't know. So anyway, my point is get your loud stuff loud, but let all that softer stuff. It should definitely flow, and it should definitely have a natural dynamic component where it gets as soft as it needs to be. Over and out.